Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another week of C3. We are extremely excited for the matches this week. I'm joined here by Dinosaur Nate Dog, Nathan Dog, or Nate Daddy, as his Discord says.
Done,
But
Nate Daddy. Get it right, buddy.
how you doing this week?
Done, Nate Daddy. I'm doing pretty good. I've had a long day. We're just in the pre-show. I was really struggling to get my bearings situated. But no, everything's been going great. I'm excited for these matchups here. We have another great one to kick us off with the coming with the second and third seed battling it out from the start of the season after Winthrop just took that loss to Charlotte in week 1. So I'm curious to see how that one's going to go. Then we're following up with a matchup for two new schools in C3 Esports League Premier League. We have High Point University and Coastal Carolina University. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great night.
I do too. I feel like this is going to be a great week. I mean, we're kind of off to a bad start. One team had to reschedule. If the old roster was on, it would have never happened. But we live and we learn, and then we keep going.
I want you to know, Wake Tech, I'm looking at you. I'm just
None
playing
of
with y'all. Stuff happens. Just make sure your sub is available next time.
or make sure your sub notifies you that he will be
He's
busy.
not going to be there. Maybe like before 30 minutes of the match. So, obviously, issues happen. Issues happen, Aiden. Issues happen. So, no, we gave him a little bit of a room. I just hope they're not going to have to reschedule that 10 p.m. game that they rescheduled to.
Oh, that would be shambles.
But,
But
it's going to be a fun one.
oh yeah. So on to our first topic. I see it says week 1 overreactions. I have no idea what this is. I feel like it's either aimed at you or some of the casters from last week. Probably Colson, since he was casting his own.
Oh yeah, dude! I've
School.
never heard more glaze in my entire life.
I,
Dude.
I wish my producer would kind of give me a little bit of a lead on this one, but I feel like we're not gonna get that. Okay,
I
now our
mean,
producer is
all right.
delusional. So is this just kind of like reactions to last week's games? Because I feel like there weren't really any upsets, unless Asheville is considered an upset. But
Dude, I just started dying. No. So to my knowledge, I talked to Coastal Carolina about that one, and I learned that he actually input the scores wrong. So Asheville did not lose that game. They actually won it 3-2 in Game 5. So as of right now, the only upset was, I believe, Wake Tech over Elon last week. That was the only upset that happened. Wake Tech took down Elon, then abandoned us on our stream game tonight. But that's the only upset really. I think the biggest overreaction I would say is the NC State glazing from Colson over there.
yeah, Colson was going insane. That was
I mean,
I get it.
supposed to
You went
score
to school there.
10-1 and he was like freaking out.
Is that and I think what's his name? Oh, what's his name? I can't think of it. But he got mad in game chat and said 10-1 is disrespectful or something. One of the UNC guys.
It's bound to happen. But in the end of the day, what can you do? Whenever you have Rocket coming in with the most goals, obviously, I'm not surprised with how that score racked up. And also with Maple Mori coming in with the most passes and assists. Honestly, I feel like that was really a stat fluffed MVP. If you want me to be completely honest on that one. Oh, sorry, Maple Mori corrected me. 10-0 actually, not 10-1. Had to clear up the one goal. Couldn't let that one fly. But in the end of the day, what can you really do? But then we also got, UNC came in, S Corp, most saves, but I also feel like that's because they were dropping a lot of goals on y'all. But now, if you really want my personal MVP, it's definitely not going to be Clemson over here with Exterminator. You can get out of here. Mesa with the most demos. I do not accept that. He can get out of here. And our overall MVP we had coming in at Bala the real MVP who did not stat fluff against a lower seeded team, coming out taking down Winthrop.
I feel like there's some shade being thrown at
What do
a
you
certain
mean,
team.
dude? Should
A
we do
certain
it to
team.
UNCW too? What do you mean? Nah, dude, y'all are losing that one. Come on. I
We'll
refuse.
we'll be able to
The
see.
guys did not take the slander of the scrim request slander very lightly, so they're going to be going
That
after y'all
was
this game.
comedy. Whoever said that, I think it was Maple Mori. You are hilarious. I don't remember who said it, but that was comedy.
Yeah, no, I'm dude. I'm just catching strays. Looking at doing my job. I'm catching strays.
You're the league owner. Just expect it. I mean, come on.
I mean, that's fair enough,
Okay,
but
now we got now now we got presets for our camera. Is crazy.
uh,
um,
I had
but
to throw that one out there.
back on topic. What do we um what do we think of week 2? I'm looking at this week 2 schedule, and I don't know. I think the best game we're really gonna have is Winthrop and USC. What are you thinking?
I mean, realistically, I would have to agree with you on that one. I think, um, yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, the second, third seed. I know USC is very upset about the Winthrop getting placed over them, so I wouldn't be too surprised if USC comes in with a little bit of a grudge of wanting to take down Winthrop. But also, I mean, after already losing to Charlotte, which was an expected loss. I mean, Charlotte was the number 1 seed. If they lose to USC here, going 0-2 could be a very big detriment to their season, and that's something we definitely they want to try and avoid. So I'm excited to see how this one plays out. Both teams really want it. Winthrop wants to start their season, or not start their season, but start getting into a positive season, whereas USC is trying to move up the ranks. So
Yeah. And I think like USC, obviously they played High Point last week. So this is really going to be like a test to see how well their chemistry is together. And I'm
yeah,
just kind of waiting for an SJT comment because there's one every week and I have yet to see one. So I'm hoping it's not towards me because it used to be a lot last semester where I would say something against USC. And
well, you don't have ECU to back you up this time.
I don't know. Somebody shot down a 2v3 scrim yesterday. That's all I'm going to say. He was
Two
scared
v
for his
three
team.
scrim. I didn't
He was
even
scared
turn
for
it
his
down,
team.
dude. I just didn't respond. What do you mean? But I mean, other than that, I think High Point had a rough time going into that one. I mean, first match of the season was going against the third seed, and
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen to somebody. I'd rather it happen at the start of the season that way you can kind of bounce back. At what point do you just kind of look at some of these games and you're like, all right, that's a scrim. Um,
Yeah, pretty
and
much.
that's what I think High Point should have viewed that one as, is just a way to improve. I do also think there's been some hype about USC, as I heard they took down Kennesaw 3-2, their premier team. But I also got told that Kennesaw was trolling and they swept USC in the lowers.
Look in chat, buddy. Who doesn't have
Oh
ECU to
God.
hear back him up? Yeah. Yeah. What are we talking about now, Nate?
Oh my lord.
I got my boy in
Well,
the cut now.
I don't know what to tell you on that one. It is what it is. It is what it is.
But what are your any other thoughts on this week?
Um, in terms of the games not being
No
streamed, I really hope.
UNCW talk. Nobody cares about your UNCW takes.
I
Anything
care
outside of
about my
that.
UNCW takes. All right, UNCW esports. I really hope they come out on top though. That's the I've been tweaking about that today. So I really want them to take the W tonight. Hopefully it's gonna be a good game. I'm really upset that I didn't stream that one because it's practically a mirror match. I feel like
Hmm.
um with the fifth and sixth seed, or yeah, fifth and sixth seed. Wait, yeah, fifth and sixth. That's right. Um, so it's gonna be a close one. Last time I checked at the start of the season, I haven't looked. They were all kind of around the same ranks, same skill level. So I'm really upset at not streaming that one. But I did hear that it is being streamed.
Yes,
Um,
by NC State.
yeah. So if you feel like it, want to go check that one out, NC State Esports, or is it Esports at NC State? I
I
don't
think it's
know.
esports at NC State. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Esports at NC State on Twitch. They'll be streaming their games. Be sure to check that one out. But other than that, I mean, a lot of these matchups for week 2, Other than High Point, Wake Tech, A&T, that should be a good one. I know they're on the lower end of the seeding, so should be a good mirror match for them too as well. See if Wake Tech can keep it up to a 2-0 record so far. Then Greensboro, Elon. Judging by the fact Elon lost last week, I feel like Greensboro is going to kind of blow them out.
You think so?
Yeah, I love Elon, but I don't think they're going to stand much of a chance against Greensboro.
That's fair. I would say I wasn't really like. I'm not looking forward to really any games. I mean, we don't even have Charlotte playing this week. No ECU. I mean, it's kind of just like a stinker week of games.
Stinker week is crazy. Stinker week. That's a wild statement to make there. As I mean, there still are some good games. Come on, dude. You're the podcaster. You're supposed to
Well,
generate
obviously
hype
there's
here.
good games.
You're the pre-show.
I am the show.
You
So
are
shut
the
up.
show. Okay. All right. Yeah, sure,
All
buddy.
right, but we
Sure,
are
buddy.
gonna. I can see our producers trying to get our attention in the spreadsheet. So we will go talk about stats. Oh, I just saw your name flicking on it. Yeah, let's talk about stats from last week. Um, let's see. I feel like the stats were just kind of like I don't. Was there ever a blowout outside of the 10-0? Oh,
I mean, even
USC 1-3-0.
a lot of it was around like 4 goals. Nothing as bad as the 10-0 one. We
Yeah,
did have some series MVPs I wanted to go ahead and give a shout out to per game. We had Knight coming in. We had Knight coming in as the MVP for the Charlotte Winthrop game, actually coming out on top of that one. Then in South Carolina High Point we had Og. Then Wilmington Clemson we had Beans.
beans.
All right, buddy. Chapel Hill NC State we had Rocket. Obviously, the 10-goal definitely stat fluff to that one. Coastal Carolina Asheville was actually Kuso coming out. I hear he's the best player in the world. Then Wake Tech Elon we had Piani from Wake Tech actually coming out as an MVP over Elon. So I mean, there's been some people are starting to make those moves, and I think they're going to start taking that into their matches going into this week. Hopefully, that gives some people some confidence.
Can I just ask a question?
So
How did Knight get Series MVP, but then Balla gets MVP of the week?
because
That doesn't really make
blame
sense.
our producer on that one. Blame the producer on that one. All I know is that in terms of overall stats, Balla had, and other than stat fluffing games, Balla had average 1.6 goals a game. Meanwhile, Knight averaged 1.4 assists, 1.8 saves, and then also 1.8 demos a game. So he had more of a resounding impact over Balla, but our producer decided to just pick Balla just because. So, and I now looking at the stats realize that, and I'm gonna have to just have a stern talking to with him and possibly fire him.
I think Knight's mom should be furious in chat right now. I think that
It's
Knight's
rigged.
mom should start giving.
Rigged. But other than that, I think it's gonna be a good night. It's gonna be a good night.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be a good night of games. It'll be interesting. Sorry for the delay, everybody. We tried to make. Yeah, we had a minor weather delay on the in-game pitch, as our producer liked to say, which was unfortunate. Pushed us back an hour. We tried to make it work, and Nate sucks at making things work. So.
Okay. All right. All right. Cool. Appreciate y'all. I'm logging off. Y'all have a great night.
But y'all be sure to stick around. I believe our first game should be starting soon, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we will have Winthrop versus USC at 8, and then right after that match, we will have High Point and Coastal Carolina. So y'all be sure to stick around, and we will see you at game time. Adios.
Have a good one.
Welcome, Rocket League fans, to C3 Esports League. I'm McMaster. Alongside me is Somber, and we are back for week 2 of the fall split of the C3 Esports League. Last week we had plenty of action, but this week we have a lot more still coming your way. Somber, welcome back to the booth. How was your week 1 experience?
Dude, we almost did the thing and went 15 games in week 1. It was an absolute banger to kick off of the fall here for 2025 for C3 Esports League. I'm expecting maybe not as many fireworks here. We still got a pretty close matchup, the 2 versus 3, but I know USC, I say it every time I talk about USC. I talk to the boys at LAN, I talk to Turnup, SJT, and Og. They seem determined to show that USC is here and they're not playing around anymore. They're taking fall much more seriously. I know in the past they've all kind of been just like, we're all high enough ranked that we win when we need to, and we don't really need to scrim as much. We kind of ramp up when it comes to LAN season, but they're taking things seriously for league play. They're serious in every league. They're taking every week as serious as possible, and I think that they're going to come out here and shock us at least, who are kind of just thinking USC is going to be USC. I think we're going to even see with Cat not being on this roster anymore. This is still going to be a very quality USC roster, and Winthrop Academy going to game 5 again against Charlotte. This time it does result in a loss, but that's a very quality loss to kick off your season. They have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder coming in as the 2 seed, and then talking a little bit of smack, saying that they're gonna be able to take a win over Charlotte again. Now they're looking for revenge. I think that here for this first matchup, it's gonna be an absolute banger, and we're in for some highlight plays for sure.
If we have it our way, this will go to 5. Simply put, this kind of series deserves it. As you again mentioned, the 2 and the 3 seed, Winthrop Academy showing up and showing off. Again, they did what they could against UNC, but could not quite get the job done. And USC, being staples of C3, able to take down High Point 3-0. So USC are coming off of a high, and Winthrop want to get themselves back to an even record. We do have all the players in the lobby. We're just about ready to get things started off. Do you have a prediction, Somber, on this matchup?
I like you said, if things go our way, we're gonna see 5. I love the content, but I think the realist in me wants to go USC in 4. I think that they're gonna be able to take a couple quick games off of Winthrop before they find their footing, but who knows? Only the pitch will tell. And we got kickoff slated for our first game of the evening. Week 2 starts off with the Gamecocks taking on Winthrop Academy.
It's going to be a fantastic matchup. I'm excited for it. USC, it makes sense. They're coming off of a very solid win going 3-0 against High Points. I guess the players just decided that we're not quite going to start up the game. It is not up to our discretion. So we'll see when exactly the players feel like hopping on the pitch. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense for USC to take down Winthrop. Winthrop would love to get their first win of the season, especially over a team as quality as USC. But that's up for them to decide. And now we will actually have kickoff this time around. Once again, Winthrop Academy versus USC. This one should be good.
Yeah, it's going to be a great match. Again, Winthrop, if they're able to grab a game here early, they're going to be tested in these opening 2 weeks. And format change has happened. We're away from the round robin style. The weeks are going to be as competitive as they possibly can be. That's kind of what Nate was talking about in the pre-show for week 1. I'm not even going to get through my yap sesh. Winthrop is going to come through, and it's going to be Phantom, who was the premier highlight player last week against Charlotte, kicking things off for Winthrop with a nice flick past the defense, taking it solo all the way through. Winthrop get the first on the board here for week 2.
Tough overcommit on the side of USC. Didn't expect to see 2 players upfield that early on, but Phantom is able to capitalize upon that with the early flick and the one-on-one opportunity. Might have another opportunity all just over the top of SJT, but a little bit too high as it does careen off the bar. Demos being attempted. Here comes SJT downfield, limited boost in the tank, pops off the sidewall. Nothing else. Going to try to leave it for Turnup, who does take control over towards the backboard where Burger is going to actually have a miss. And Og now with the follow-up shot. Bumps were being attempted, but no shot comes through as a result. It looked like a good opportunity for a tie ball game, but instead it's going to be 2-0 as Burger takes it the distance.
Frozen with the little head fake. You see that fake cut initially gets Og to sit back post just that little extra second. They hesitate, and it's going to be Nakari putting in the second. And Winthrop, man, they are starting off hot on offense. We saw this come out against Charlotte. They put on pressure. Their counters looked amazing, but do they have what it takes to take it the distance against USC, who we haven't seen much aggression come out from them, but last season Og and SJT always a threat on the demo attempts. We'll see as this game progresses now, as we're finally taken into the second minute of play here for week 2. if we see USC start to get a little bit something on offense, a little bit of a dangerous situation for Winthrop, but again, they're right back out on the counter. And it's one downfield. Now Tech take over the play off the sidewall, looking for a dunk against Og. Can't find it over Berger. But to put a little bit of pressure on SJT. Turnip off the top of the ceiling. Og gets bumped off the play. Nice awareness there by the Winthrop defense to get that out of harm's way. This is going to be awkward ball on defense for USC, but a good low boost 50 from SJT, and the cleanup from Turnip going to put this one back out to the midfield, and the bump might come through. No, Nakari delays it just enough to grab that save, and now the attack back on here for Winthrop.
Now here comes Berger, boost to work with, not going to find a second touch on the ball. It's SJT to clear off towards the sidewall. Tech once again attempting to recenter, denied by Og, and he'll get the full field clear as well as SJT searches for bumps. So actually trying to get a redirect. He does find it into the corner before Phantom shuts that one down. Now Turnip trying to go underneath the defender. Tech not going to fall forward just yet, and Og is going to be given quite a bit of space to work with. Loves playing in these situations, goes over the defense, trying to drop it down, but Phantom is up just in time. Turned away from SJT. South Carolina are knocking on the door, but no answer just yet.
Og able to sky up, get a touch past one, and now down below, looking to force the 50 against Phantom. Does well to take it away. Tech is up early. Phantom able to play cleanup, finds the man on the sidewall. Might be another infield passing play, going 1v1 in the skies against Turnip, trying to play above the rim. That one off the post, and that one again saved through by SJT, and the defense coming out strong here, but still finding themselves looking down the barrel of a 2-0 deficit. Are USC. See if they can start to launch something here, but Turnip low boost. It is looking like a good lane downfield, but not able to find much past that second touch. Trying to get it back into the hands of Og. Nakari pinch up. Tech trying to follow through, but a slight double commit puts Tech actually right in the perfect spot there. Gonna be SJT, quick pop, low boost, gets starved by Phantom. They're gonna have a little bit of space to work this one outside their own box, but Og quick to it. Nakari again, rinse and repeat off that back wall, trying to find the clear out. Good containment at the midfield by USC, but the resources run dry. They have to try to work this one through one more time. Pass over to SJT, but again, the boost totals are astronomically low on the offensive side of the pitch for USC, and they're just not able to get anything to connect here against Winthrop.
Yeah, the possession game is definitely starting to be won by USC, but again, the lack of boost and just lack of quality opportunities is certainly not going to help them. SJT has to pop it up downfield, but that's just read by Phantom. He's there waiting in the wings. It's another infield pass. Shot on target is on the weaker side of things. Berger can't get the rebound opportunity to go for him. Now Phantom trying to collect with no boost, simply with a light touch downfield. SJT, the interruption. Tech now back into the orange half once more. Og is going to nuke it back downfield. Does have a teammate waiting. It is Turnip. Cannot make contact. Og though with the shot, just off the post again. And USC, as close as they can get, still cannot find their first.
They're looking like K-Corp in the semis right now. Just nothing but post and crossbar. Cannot hit a shot to save their life. And with time winding down, starting to become a factor. USC can score in bunches, but keep leaving that third man out in no man's land, pushing too far up towards that midfield stripe. And it seems like one of these Winthrop counters is going to strike again and put the dagger in. And a little bit of pressure here from Winthrop. Now the double tap is trying to be lined up, but it ends up turning into a magnificent pass, and that pressure finally breaks through that USC stone wall on the back line. It's going to be Tech lining up and knocking down the third here for Winthrop.
Yeah, that's just going to be the nail in what has been it's a nail in the coffin in a very dominant game one showing on the side of Winthrop. I mean, they have currently 11 shots to USC's 4. It has not been a very good showing on the side of USC, and a couple of the opportunities they had that were quality, they ended up finding inaccuracies that either went off the crossbar or the post. And against a team like Winthrop Academy, you cannot be doing that. This team is extremely threatening, as we see with this 3-0 lead. You know, USC might find one for the road here. Og does get the double, but SJT can't find the extra touch. And no matter what happens here, this game is done and dusted. That is Winthrop with a convincing first game of the series.
Winthrop, again, they had a lot to prove after going game 5 against Charlotte. They really wanted to come out and establish a presence here in week 2 and show that they are deserving of that number 2. Again, there's been some contention from the USC camp that the number 3 ranking is not really indicative of what this team is made up to be, and that maybe they deserve to be in Winthrop's spot at that number 2 seed. But we're seeing here that at the end of the day, Winthrop not only just holding their own, but being able to shut out what is usually a offensively dominating USC squad is a very impressive start to week 2, if I say so myself.
Yeah, and as much as I can talk about USC's inaccuracies, you know, Winthrop still put on a great defensive showing as well. Sure, USC had their moments, and a couple of the shots should have absolutely fallen for them. The defense of Winthrop still stood up strong, and if we take into account the posts that did come into play against USC, say those were converted to goals, it'd still be a 3-2 lead for Winthrop. That is still a win no matter what when it comes to USC fixing their own problems. So hopefully for USC's sake, they're able to turn things around, start finding their rhythm, start finding their shots as well. But on the side of Winthrop, you take this one in stride. A shutout on a team where it's supposed to be a very close series, a 3-0 nonetheless, that is as good of a start as you could possibly ask for.
Absolutely. The two things that I want to see coming out from USC going into this game too. There's a lot of momentum behind Winthrop right now. The boost totals were so low on the side of USC compared to Winthrop. It was about 1,000 total boost consumption difference. That means that right now Winthrop is controlling the boost on your side. You need to be able to catch back up in that department, play a little bit faster, a little bit more up tempo, and only one demo to the team's name. This is a team that needs to play aggressive for their offense to work, and we're seeing that lacking. But aggression is what Winthrop is bringing to the board. They dominated in demos, they dominated in shots, and this time they start the scoring off just as quickly as they did in game one. 7 seconds is all it takes. Peck out of the corner snipes one through to give Winthrop the lead.
And Winthrop just pick up exactly where they left off. That is a very quick shot to come through. And now it could be an answer coming through on the side of South Carolina, but instead it is turned out wide by Phantom. Going to be met by SJT. The 50 kept neutral at the midfield line. Og 51 by Berger instead, and it's just a wide open net. Winthrop are sprinting to the finish line.
I feel like this is just a generational hot streak for Winthrop. Not only do they start out by taking what are probably still the favorites to win fall, as much as some people may want to see some parity, UNC Charlotte. It took them to 5, and it was a contentious game 5 as well. It was tight. They really had to fight, UNC Charlotte did, to get that game 5 victory and not fall to 0-1 and put their season kind of at a risk with this new format that we have in store for us this season. But Winthrop coming out firing on all cylinders. Only 40 seconds off the clock at this point in game 2, already up 2-0. And they're just going to look to hold pressure and just shut down USC again. And it really is just ball in USC's court. See what they have in this game 2. See what they're able to leg out. Find some type of offensive identity, because it was sorely lacking in game 1. Opportunity gone by the wayside. Og going to end up clearing that one, trying to dunk it on the goal line, and a good preemptive jump on the defensive line to force that one through as well. Flip reset at the midfield, catch from Og, but again, early challenges coming out from Winthrop, stalling out these attacks by USC. They get a good look here. It will fall through. SJT on the pre-jump finds the tuck in right under crossbar, and after many a scoreless minutes of Rocket League here for USC, which is a rare sight, they finally break that and get that monkey off their back, get one on the board.
And finally, no controversy either. No crossbar, no post to speak of. That was just clean executed offense coming through on the side of USC, and SJT is going to look to make it another. However, the double commit did make things awkward on the initial touch. Tech is going to walk away with the ball over the top of Turn It. Og will just simply wait, grab the ball. It's going to be taken away by Phantom over towards the backboard. SJT, a great read, and Berger cannot make a shot of it, though it was right in front of the box. Turn It now read right away by Tech, and at present, it's just the ruthless aggression coming through on the side of Winthrop that is just paying off tenfold. Right now, it doesn't feel as though, South Carolina is keeping up with the pace of play, and that is such a close play. On the goal line, Tech can't convert upon it. What is happening? There's still no one to shoot. How is that not a third goal for Winthrop?
We call that spaghetti ball on the back line right there. 3 players in, no save, no shot, no nothing. Great defense there coming out from Turnip. Akari will turn, pop one more to the backboard. SJT gets that one out of harm's way. Phantom continues the attack. Touch off the sidewall, met by Tech. Flip reset, looking for the bump. A great patience from Og, and defense down below by SJT. Turnip, a little bit of hesitation there, going to lead to a clean lane for Phantom. Great 50, bounces straight up the sidewall. But early go from Nakari. Going to put this one right back into the USC corner. And again, Winthrop, the shots may not be falling right now, but the pressure is mounting. USC, the boost total's low. You're trying to push down the pitch with no one with a boost. Og, the only one with 100 to their name. That's a great pinch off the 50. Might go the other way, but no, Nakari is able to get back in time. 2-1, still the scoreline, heading down to the final 2 minutes of play here in game 2. And Winthrop, despite the frazzled nature on the USC backline, still look very confident in offense right now.
Yeah, and if we see USC come down with a counterattack or in some form or another tie this game up and possibly win it, we are going to look to that, as you had phrased it, spaghetti ball earlier on, as a huge turning point in this game. And it's an opportunity for SJT, but that one's off the post again. So close, yet so far away for USC. It'll be Tech now to turn out wide. He's got nothing left in the tank. SJT is going to take it to the sidewall. Turn up in the air on the pre-jump. Takes it away from Berger. What a read that is on the slow turn. Tech does not have it, but Berger will demo the player regardless. Tech now into the corner. No more boost left for him. Og clear out wide to the sidewall once more. On the pop-up, one extra touch. SJT going to get there before Phantom, but Phantom did play back and played patiently. Turn up with the early challenge. Og is going to turn. Opportunity turned out wide by Phantom. Now here comes SJT. Can't get the shot off. We're approaching the minute mark. It is still a 2-1 lead in favor of Winthrop.
Right now, through this last minute of play, and I don't want to harp on the boost totals, but it's been about 40-13 in terms of team average in favor of Winthrop. And when a team just has that little bit of extra resource available to their game, they're going to be able to outpace you. They're going to be able to get to the ball quicker than you can. And especially with the second man playing so passive, playing so far behind on these cleanup attempts, USC not really able to build anything on the Winthrop half. Look to do so late game here. Winthrop standing tall, staying steady on the defensive side of the ball. Og will have one more touch off the dunk, straight down. Nakari will read. Low boost in that corner. Tech and Nakari both a little bit tangled up, but a heavy-handed 50 will go the opposite way. Phantom grabs that boost. Tech and a turn cut, put it right into the hands of Og. Gonna put it into the corner. One more read necessary. Gets the 50. Down is SJT. Demo on the back line, but no one there for USC to clean up. And it's a free lane to clear out and play time here for Winthrop. Time winding down, final 5 seconds. Turn it off the ceiling, forcing one out to Og. Og infield to SJT, read well, but it goes just wide and hits the post on zeros. And Winthrop, despite the late game push by USC, they're putting this one up on triple match point.
Wow, that was brutal. And, you know, I really thought that would come back to bite Winthrop. I really did. That opportunity where the ball simply sat right in front of the USC net that was not capitalized upon still does not come back to bite them. Winthrop get away with one there. That was a much closer effort. But, I mean, man, USC, it just feels as though they're right there. They just need to take that one extra step with their shooting accuracy, and suddenly these games just completely flip on their head, and the series goes in a completely other direction, or completely different direction. That has to change, and it has to change now, because USC somehow are already down to their last life.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw it in chat, reverse sweep now. You and I would definitely be all in store for, or all for rather, a reverse sweep by USC right now. But again, 3-0 and now 2-1. You're up 5-1 across 10 minutes of Rocket League in the aggregate against a very tough USC team. I don't know if they have it in them. Winthrop is a vibes team, it feels like. When they're playing hot, when they're playing well, they can go up against some of the best. Especially with Charlotte, it seemed like the vibes were at an all-time high, and that's what carried them to that game 5. And it was just Charlotte had a little bit left in the tank to take it the distance and get that win. But here with USC, you come out with back-to-back dominating games, and you dominate more. 5 seconds, we're getting quicker and quicker with every goal. The kickoffs are just absolutely dialed here for Winthrop. Phantom to get the one first on the board here in game 3. Winthrop looking to sweep in commanding fashion.
Yeah, that was absolutely nasty from Phantom. Slowing down the pace of play with the reset, just absolutely sold out the defender. And, you know, I was hoping at least that USC would be ready with the game starting up from scratch. But again, it's just Winthrop capitalizing as quick as you would like to have that early lead. And again, it is USC having to fight back. They have not had a lead this entire series. They have been trailing the whole time, but they will get their answer immediately. It is SJT on the full field clear, Og credited with the assist, and that is a much needed goal with the quick response.
And this is the USC team that we're used to seeing, is just that initial good touch on defense, someone upfield looking to put a shot on target, put a long ball on, force the defense to scramble back. It either falls in or you have that quick follow-up on the second man. It's a successful counterattack. Whatever it may be, USC has been severely lacking in the pace department here in week 2 against Winthrop, but again, credit that to the boost difference. Game 1 and game 2, it's about 1,000 more boost consumed by the side of Winthrop. That's 10 full pads more in favor of Winthrop. They're dominating the field in terms of boost utilization and being able to grab up these big pads before USC can top up the tanks and find a play downfield. But that's what you need to do against this Winthrop team. They're going to play aggressive. They're going to try to play fast and try to catch them slipping, try to catch them playing too fast for their own good and capitalize on that one little mistake. But they just haven't been able to do so. Demo on the back line. Turnip already up, fake the shot down below. SJT pushed up just a bit too far, and now it's a counter for Phantom, and the dunk. Phantom continuing their highlight performance from week 1, carrying it in to try and sweep USC here in week 2.
You had mentioned Phantom just now and earlier on in the night as well as being a key player who would show off all different kinds of skills against UNCC, and now this time it is going towards a winning effort, that 50 being a crucial one to reclaim the lead once more for Winthrop. And he's going to be Phantom with the first touch as well, but Tech isn't able to make contact. Og turned out wide by Phantom. Here comes Turnip now off the ceiling. One extra touch, going to try to set her out for a teammate. It is SJT, but Phantom shuts that down once again. Og able to collect the mid boost, is bumped off the ball, but actually recovers, stays on the ball, gets the ground pinch, but Phantom again shutting it down. I feel like I'm saying this guy's name at every turn. He is everywhere at present.
This is exactly what he did in the Charlotte matchup as well. Phantom was just defense, offense, midfield, 50s, whatever you needed. Phantom was there, and again, they're continuing to pull off this performance and looking like this is the new standard for them. I saw it over the summer when they were playing in CCS and they took down UNC Charlotte. It was Phantom. Phantom was that X factor, and it looks like over the summer and now into the fall, they've kind of dialed that in of, hey, Phantom is going to be that guy that we center around. We got 2 phenomenal players behind them in Nakari and Tech, whereas last season it seemed like Nakari was kind of that player that they tried to force offensively, maybe a little bit of a system change, but whatever changes, whatever the revelations they've had over the summer now into the fall, it seems to be working, because this is diabolical work from them in week 2 here against the Gamecocks. Tech flip reset, no boost, but gonna force SJT. They do grab up that corner boost and now look to go to work. Big time 50 win. One of very few that Winthrop have given up. Phantom gonna go up early, force turn up. They get the bump. Phantom backflip, pass back mid, turns into a shot denied by Nakari. SJT with a big pinch to keep this one alive in the blue corner. One more touch. Phantom, the pop, the demo comes through. Great defensive awareness coming out from Nakari. Low boost, putting the challenge up, and Phantom able to clear this one out and the 50 at the midfield. Winthrop surviving right now and finally find a little bit of reprieve downfield.
The defense was hanging on by a thread, but they're still able to escape. Ogdo from the full field, unable to get it to go. Did have the reset, started from his own backward. Now it's Phantom again behind the ball. One-on-one, gets the flick, but Turnip is there to turn out wide. 90 seconds left for USC to try to get themselves a second on the board. It's Og with the high pass over towards SJT. Shot, saved off the post by Berger. On the pop-up, it's going to be Phantom with the read back downfield, and Og was demoed. He'll have to race back in order to get the save. Berger to maintain possession once more off the corner, all the way downfield. SJT over towards Og. Dropped down from the ceiling, but Turnip had also committed. It is a double commit. Phantom, no read from the sidewall. Now turned on. It's going to be an awkward double commit again. USC, you can see the panic starting to set in. They don't know who's going on what, and it could cost them here. There's only a minute left. They need to score. This series is done.
Big time clear out. Going to kill more time here as we're well under a minute left to go in what could be the final game for USC's week 2. They're fighting just to put this one into overtime, let alone extend the series. With how Winthrop's looking, a few more good clears, and this game may be signed, sealed, delivered. Big time 50. Og has enough boost and is able to grab up that mid canister as well out of the corner, wrap around, back down. Great interception from Nakari. Keeps that out of the hands of Turnip, who was threatening SJT. They went to the back wall. Turnip back to SJT. Phantom off the backboard. No boost, forcing Og to go high. Nakari makes that stretch, earns the savior. And it's late game pressure again from USC. Great shot, great pass. Og, draw it up, knock it down. We got a tie ball game.
The offense was just constricting the defense, so there was frankly no space left. Even Phantom was it even when he was able to collect that corner boost, he just simply could not make anything else of it. 13 seconds left, and USC have finally found their answer. The question is, can they find one more and skip overtime, find themselves a game in this series? It's Tech to try to deny it. Turned out wide by SJT as the final seconds count down. Berger just going to turn on it, on the dribble, flick towards net, saved out wide by Og. Phantom cannot find the follow-up touch. We have the first overtime of the series, and the entire series lies in the hands of this overtime.
and kickoffs have been so good here for Winthrop. It was dangerous. Tech opts for the boost grab instead. Click on by SJT. Going to be 2 on the back wall for Winthrop. Phantom going to opt to just leave that 1-4 turn up to take over. Grab some boost, chain dash around, trying to find a 50 against SJT. Good dunk down. Tech maybe not the best on the extension play, leaves their net vulnerable. This one goes mid, turn up, the game winner denied off the crossbar. SJT, waterfall down, Phantom to Reed. One more go for Og, big time whiff, and Winthrop capitalized. Put this one all the way back down in Gamecock territory. Infield pass, but Phantom was looking for the headhunt. Turn up, off that sidewall, can't find the touch. Good 50 from behind by Nakari. SJT looking to play this one back down. Phantom flick is on, needs to get it past 2. Double jump over 1, bar down and out. Clean up from Tech, puts it back mid, but bump on Nakari. And this one stalls out, but Phantom wants to keep it going. Back out to Nakari, dunked by SJT. Tech can't get back in time, and SJT gets this one to go, and we are guaranteed 4.
All of that work in the orange half being brought by Winthrop. And all it takes is one full field clear by SJT to send us to game 4. They are not out of here just yet. USC able to fight. They got that late goal with 13 seconds left, and they were able to get themselves a game on the board. As you had said, we're guaranteed 4, but maybe now that the first domino has fallen, the rest could go as well. All USC need are 1 to get the momentum rolling in their favor.
Yeah, the middle 2 minutes of that game is the USC that I'm used to seeing. They put up a ton of pressure. They put up a bunch of shots, but they kind of started to falter. They were able to force the OT late, but the overtime really was just clamming up on defense, getting a little bit of extra help from that 4th man on the side of USC. That bar down and out from Phantom, the double jump shot after cooking the midfield defender, going 1v2, almost good. Tech not able to find that cleanup touch, but USC, they scrape by, force us to 4. And anything can happen when you drop this first game. That momentum is killed. Winthrop, you need to try to keep the vibes high, but that is a tough task to ask of them, because you are down now a game, still up in the series, but you're trying to now claw your way back. But we need to figure out what to do now, because we just had everything go down for maintenance.
There's no way, right?
I think we just need to start up a new server. If I'm not mistaken, when servers go down, we just need a remake. Yeah, we just need a remake, and everything should be good, because I think there's just that one specific server. But lovely game, Rocket League. Love you.
Man, I've never heard of that. That really freaked me out for a sec. That notification that just says the server went down for maintenance is crazy.
Yeah.
But back to the series and less about that. Yeah, I mean, we saw Winthrop win 2 in a row. Who's to say USC can't? And the reverse sweep effort would certainly be heroic, but it's certainly possible. It's on the cards. I mean, you just gotta wonder whether or not this could, this could stop the momentum, this break right here.
Yeah, a little bit of ice here. USC probably would have liked to play with a little bit of momentum. But yeah, I think that this is gonna end up being a slight favor to Winthrop. They're gonna be able to shake things off a little bit. But yeah, USC, if they force this to 5, it's anyone's ball game. But I think Winthrop is still dialed in enough to get this one locked in. Right, it's a 1-goal game in OT. You can shake that off pretty easily. But I don't know. What did you see that was different from USC coming in out of that game and now into game 4 that might prep us a little bit better?
Well, frankly, shooting accuracy was one thing, that's for sure. And I think a big change that they had was the fact that they were able to, finally get their offense started. Sorry, mine just ran. The train just absolutely left the station there. So I think one of the big things was that their offense before was pot shots. Just fire something at net. That looked a lot more constructed. It was about pressure. It was about spending time in the blue half and really constrict down on the defense. That was a big change from USC. A big thing from Winthrop that I think needs to kind of revert. I love seeing Phantom stardom. We love seeing him and his individual efforts, but you got to get everybody involved offensively. It can't just be Phantom. And if Berger isn't able to get the match, if Berger isn't able to get things going, if Tech isn't able to get things going, it can't just be Phantom offensively to beat this USC team and expect the wins to just fall in place.
Yeah, I think that's what we started to see falter in the UNC Charlotte. Exactly what you said. It became the Phantom show a little bit too much. And I think that teams can lock onto that pretty quickly. I mean, credit to Winthrop. They were able to grab two very convincing wins over USC before they caught on to that this is now named the Phantom Show and you're going to get absolutely clipped on by them, and then just have Nakari and Tech play very great support around them. But they're going to be able to now adapt a little bit better to that. Winthrop is going to need to, like you said, come back, be a little bit more constructive with their offense. They can't just keep throwing the same thing at the wall. Granted, it almost got you a win, but USC starting to wisen up to it. Again, with SJT and Og, these are two high caliber, high level players. They're not going to let these types of series slip away by just getting beat by one person. Here in game 4, if you don't want to risk a 50-50 match in game 5, you need to be able to get everyone involved. And we do have everyone back in the lobby. We got everything all sorted, and we got game 4 already kicked off here between USC and Winthrop.
Yeah, I'd like to think that this is certainly a nicer start on the side of USC. You haven't conceded within the first 7 seconds for the first time in 2 games, so good job by them to make that adjustment. We'll see if they can actually turn into one for themselves, but Burger turns it out wide as Tech gets the demo onto one player. It'll be a return demo onto Phantom, courtesy of SJT, and now Og on the turn out. A little bit of boost in the tank, but gets sent far away, and the physical play really ramping up here early in game number 4. Turnip actually leaves it, which is an interesting call, and now Tech looks to go solo. The ball touch just gets a little bit heavy, gets out of his control. Neither team really able to set up shop, and no quality opportunities through the first 50 seconds of this game.
This has been very back and forth ball. There's a good opportunity. That one goes crossbar, then backboard, and the shooting woes rear their ugly head once more in the opening minute for USC. 2 great opportunities gone to the wayside. Still 0-0 here on the score sheet. Og is going to put that one a little bit too far for their teammate to grab, but still great pressure being held by USC. Infield pass to SJT. 8-ball corner pocket. That one finally falls through. And you hold so much time in the opposing half to open up game 4. Something's bound to fall through. The early go from Tech spells their demise, and USC grabbed their first lead in regulation this series.
That is a beautiful goal, and as you had mentioned, yeah, their first lead. Don't count the overtime goal as a lead because the game ends from there. The first time they have a lead, and it needs to be in a reverse sweep effort. That reset going off the post from Og. Another mild inaccuracy. Will it come back to bite them? Only one way of finding out, but SJT is not going to let Winthrop get out of their own half just yet. Tech is able to turn on the ball, but he's got nothing left. Og tries shutting that down. Turnip's going to be beat to the ball by Phantom, and it'll go hard off the corner where SJT can have one touch all the way back downfield once more. Turnip now, redirect off the sidewall. No one else is there, just a continuation touch, and now pass from Tech over towards Phantom. Double tap being attempted, does have the read, but shut down by SJT. Infield pass from Tech to Burger is going to be saved lightly by Og as he tries to play the possession game, but it's dangerous out in front of his own net. Phantom, the dirty fake onto one. Now the air dribble, all the boost in the world. Bumps being attempted, and still SJT somehow keeps it out wide.
Again, it's the Phantom Show, and they were able to turn the TV off at the right time, able to get that one out of harm's way and still hold the lead. But Phantom, that shot going to be just off target. Og able to track it down, and this one out as a clear. Tech to meet in the skies. Plenty of boost to play the 50 down against Turnip. Phantom out of the corner for a bump, but Turnip able to jump and get this one down to Og. Redirect will be off target. A big pinch from Tech. Line this one back up for SJT. 2 men go on the defensive line here for Winthrop, and they come out not conceding another. Still only being down by 1 goal, 2:20 left. The counters have looked good for Winthrop, but you don't want to try and win this game solely off of counters. You don't want to try and outlast this USC offense as they're now starting to pick up the pace. They're starting to be able to keep their boost totals relatively high, be able to put shot after shot on your net. You don't want to try to just out defense USC. It is a losing battle. That one own goal, the beautiful save, and then the clip sold off the own goal. 2-0 here for USC.
Oh my goodness, that is absolutely brutal. Burger, unfortunately, on the end of that own goal. It was a great save from Phantom off the post, but that is heartbreaking. And now a multi-goal lead for USC again. For those of you who may be just tuning in now, this was a 2-0 series lead in favor of Winthrop completely flipped on its head, and this game looks to be well and truly in control of USC. Game 5 on the horizon. Winthrop trying to not allow us to get there, but that clear could be crucial. Turn up, no redirect available. Berger will try to play the possession game right in front of his own net. You can just see the change in confidence of these two teams. All the pace now being applied by USC when before it was Winthrop, but this passing play could pay dividends. Off the backboard, going to be set out wide by SJT. Under 90 seconds left, still a 2-goal lead, and that clear is just going to waste valuable seconds that Winthrop cannot afford to lose.
Phantom down to Tech, able to put this one back into USC territory. Phantom, guys up, but no boost, no juice behind the shot. It will be Og. Mistouch there from Nakari, a rare one, but will be capitalized by USC, putting the pressure right back on Winthrop, staring down a 2-goal deficit, under a minute to go. Need to find something quickly here to put yourself in position to force OT at the very least, but Turnip clear downfield. An early jump from Nakari, gonna take some more time off the clock. Turnip gonna zoom around that one, look for a bump, just trying to play time here and possession in the blue side of the pitch. Og gonna take their time, pop that one up. Over to Turnip, back to Og, backboard now for Turnip, looking for the drop down floater, finds the backboard once more, could have been a third and the dagger. Under 30 seconds to go, but with USC playing pressure like they are right now, Winthrop look like they're gonna have to face this one in game 5.
Yeah, there's very limited time on the clock. Winthrop need one, and they need it now if they want to try to fight back in this game, but that demo is just going to waste all of the time in the world. We're at 10 seconds now and counting. We still can't even find the orange half of the field. It'll be Tech taking control, but it's simply too little too late. Ladies and gentlemen, it's somehow, some way, we're going to find ourselves on Champions Field as USC have forced a Game 5.
And I think the biggest turnaround from USC in this game, we saw the shots starting to come through, we saw the demo starting to come through, but the field domination, 60-40 on the side of
Wow.
USC. That is absolutely dominant. We've seen Winthrop in their wins. It's been about 52-48, 51-49, pretty negligible in terms of pressure, but USC really just put them in the crock pot, put them in the pressure cooker in this game. And now Winthrop again, they're a vibes team. The vibes aren't great going into this game 5. It's going to be a bigger struggle, and USC starting to find their rhythm, looking like the dangerous USC squad we have come to know and love and appreciate in this league. They're right back to form. They are looking like the rust has been knocked off. Winthrop is in store for quite the challenge here on this reverse sweep attempt by USC.
And you know, in the camp of USC right now, they are just having an absolute blast. Spirits have to be high, but on the side of Winthrop, someone has to be the leader to take charge, to reset the vibes, get everyone back to ground zero, or remind them that they were able to take 2 games off of USC pretty simply earlier on in the series. They know they can take it, but it's up to these 2 teams to decide who exactly is going to walk away with the W. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we wanted. We wanted Game 5 between the number 2 and 3 seed. We have it in front of us. Game on, 5 minutes to decide it.
The best phrase in Rocket League, Game 5, Champions Field. You love to see it in week 2. We thought the fireworks were done after week 1, but we're right here hitting the sparklers once more. We got magic here on the broadcast, a reverse sweep potentially by USC, or staving off a Herculean effort put on by the Gamecocks, and Winthrop coming out victorious in 5, taking a little bit of that chip off their shoulder after losing to Charlotte. Right now, this is showing why they are so close in the rankings. A 2 seed versus a 3 seed here in week 2 in a very tough format, in a grueling new format here for C3. It is turning out to be a absolute banger, a classic here for the C3 Esports League. Open up first minute. Not much to do from either side. A lot of feeling each other out at the midfield. Our first little bit of stint of pressure, and it actually doesn't need the pressure. It needs just the soft touch of the ceiling to fall on through for Nakari, and Winthrop find their first lead.
That is, technically speaking, an own goal coming through on the side of USC, and certainly a unique way of opening up the scoring here in game number 5. Winthrop going back to their earlier ways of scoring first and scoring relatively early. But right away, it is USC on the drop down. Turnip with a gorgeous read from the waterfall.
Absolutely masterful off the kickoff. And this is what Winthrop did to them in game 1 and game 2, giving them a little bit of a taste of their own medicine here in game 5, where the stakes are the highest. This is your golden game. And at this rate, we're going to see golden goal as well. I have a feeling that this one's going to go to OT unless one of these teams just absolutely turns up the juice. But I feel like both are going to play a little bit reserved. USC know that they're having to fight through 3 straight wins. Winthrop know that they don't want to drop 3 straight. They are, both sides are going to play with only what is available to them. They're not going to try to force anything. They're not going to make the stupid mistakes because they know that could seal the series for them one way or the other. And right now, USC going to be tested once more out of the corner. It'll be Tech to follow through the back line, and now Nakari pops it up, leaves it for Phantom out of the corner. SJT early go. A little bit of a triple commit, but everyone spaces back out, finds their rotation back on defense here for USC. A whifty 50, but Tech will find it on the follow through from the flip. SJT tries to put pressure on early, takes Phantom out of the equation. Doesn't matter. It's a beautiful setup for Tech to knock down, and trading blows here in the opening 2 minutes. Winthrop find that lead once more.
And Turnip was just left with no on the post.
Turnip to the crossbar, might be an open opportunity. It will be put to the back wall. Tech pinch out, met by SJT. We backboard down to Og testing Nakari on the back line. They come out and are able to find the clear out. Will be one more cut here for Tech. Tech just sauces up the defense. Tech says, this ain't the Phantom show no more. It's the Tech broadcast. We are gonna go ahead and give Tech their spotlight. They are cooking right now with 2 of the 3 goals here for Winthrop trying to take down USC. It is going to be an absolute banger lined up through this latter half of game number 5 here on the C3 Esports broadcast. SJT finds it off the sidewall. One more touch from Nakari and the demo on the back line. Tech will grab the boost and get this one all the way back into the hands of Phantom. Try to let them cook. They get immediately erased from the equation. Will be dropped down. Burger bumped off the play. Turnip absolutely dusted by Phantom. Has plenty of boost. Might be able to lay this one out with a flip reset. Scoop off the back wall and cleared out by Og. And that one could have been goal number 4 here for Winthrop, but denied by USC on a great scramble back.
And now here comes SJT out in front, does have the shot, but a great read comes through from Burger. Turn up on the turn, was bumping one player from Winthrop at the midfield line. Phantom now up top. One touch, looking for the bump, but does not find it onto Og. It'll be sent towards the backboard where Burger will clear it downfield. Tech was demoed by Og. Trying to open up opportunities is USC. They're trying to remove the defenders as best they can, but they still can't break out, and that is an awkward touch coming through from Turnup. Still going to be weird for the defense to have to handle it. Turnup will get 1. Landing is awkward. Again, just 50 this time neutrally across the other side of the field. Og trying to challenge early, but beat to the ball by Burger. Now SJT demoed off the play. Og gets revenge up against Tech, but Burger has an opportunity. Denied by Turnip. That's a crucial save. Now let's see. Can USC break through in transition? It's going to find its way downfield, but turned out wide by the defense.
SJT and Turnip, both a double commit there. It will mean a little bit of a lag here, trying to get back into good rotations. Burger, low boost, and luckily for USC, they don't have the resources to capitalize on that play downfield. Og, round to air dribble, denied by Nakari. SJT looking for the cut, can't find the catch. We're gonna just pop it over one, still maintains possession. Beautiful play by SJT. A little bit of a heavy-handed touch, can't get it into the hands of Turnup. Og, turn, pop, bang downfield, 2 go for Winthrop. Nakari gets a great touch to keep this one out of danger. The double commit could have been crucial here. Under a minute to go. Right now, Winthrop is holding poise. They are holding this one down, trying to squeak out the game 5 and thwart off this reverse sweep attempt. Now heading down to the final 30 seconds. Phantom lining up the double, denied off the post. And USC, again, being pressured here, trying to just kill as much clock as possible is Winthrop.
Burger once again just adding to the offensive onslaught over toward the backboard. Second sticking away. Shot on target. That is absolutely the dagger coming through from Phantom. The tight angle means an end to this series. 4-1 is the scoreline now with a mere 16 seconds left. All of that work from USC, all of that effort is for nothing. Winthrop are going to walk away with the W.
And vindication from their week 1 loss. They go in, they're outed as the 2 seed. There's a lot of of disagreement, we'll say, and a lot of conversation coming from some people in the league who maybe think that USC deserves that number 2 spot, especially after being the team that finished number 2. I'm going to put one more in on triple zeros, but that will be GG's. Make the scoreline look a little bit prettier for the stat sheet. But USC finished second in the spring. They were consistently just that team that was only on but slightly below Charlotte's level. But now we're seeing Winthrop is up to that level. They have surpassed USC, especially with swapping out Pats for Turnip. They're still trying to find their footing, it seems like. But GG's all around, and Winthrop, they really, really came out and shocked me. I thought USC was going to be back to their dominating USC ways, and Winthrop was going to show that maybe they are only the 3 seed, but they've earned that number 2 title in my books.
Yeah, and I think this performance from Winthrop and, this combined with last week's really proves that they do deserve to be where they are at.
Yeah.
You could argue this team really could be fighting for that 1 spot. They pushed UNC to 5 already. They were able to thwart off a very strong reverse sweep effort. I mean, once USC took down Game 4, I was highly concerned that it was going to end up being a major collapse on the side of Winthrop, but they were able to hold on. They were able to reset the vibes and finally got their heads on straight, taking it down in honestly pretty convincing fashion. 4-1 is a wonderful showing on the side of things for Winthrop. I will say we are going to have a player joining us for an interview shortly. Will be Burger, aka Nakari, on the side of Winthrop. We'll just wait and see when exactly he joins us.
We're actually going to throw it to a brief break. So,
Okay.
just to kind of wrap up that series, again,
My
Game
bad.
5, they played 10 games the first 2 weeks, and they've been against the 2 best opponents in the C3 Esports League right now. So, yeah, again, congratulations to Winthrop getting their first win on the season. And yeah, they're going to be a threat here to come, and I'm excited for LAN already, man.
It's going to be fantastic. Good job on Winthrop. We're going to run to a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll have the interview with Burger / Nakari. So, do not go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm McMaster. Alongside me is Somber, and joining us for the post-match interview is Burger, aka Nakari from Winthrop Academy. My man, welcome to the stream. Congratulations on the win. Way to get your first on the season. You just can't stop going to Game 5 apparently, but that's obviously fun for us on the broadcast. you came into this, you had just faced the 1 seed, and you're, you know, facing the 3 seed as well. You're facing only the toughest competition. When things started swaying against you guys, how did you take your team and refocus for that 5th game?
Yeah, so during that 3rd and 4th game, we definitely were having a little too much fun. So we decided we need to lock in. You know, we said, all right, let's just play a little quicker. We were giving them a little too much space. So I was like, guys, let's just play quicker. Let's take more control. And I mean, it ended up working for us in the end.
So I feel like there has been such rapid progression from you guys as a team. I know you guys are the Winthrop Academy, but I mean, you guys are starting to look like a team roster out there, competing with UNC Charlotte and the likes of USC, and being able to leg out these series. What has kind of led to that quick development of you guys as a roster, and kind of the up and up that we're seeing from the summer now into the fall, and what is seemingly going to just get better and better?
Yeah, I think we all kind of spent a lot of time grinding and picking up Phantom from, you know, like as a freshman this year is pretty good. He's a great player. But having also, you know, our varsity team here, you know, we have good resources to, you know, get better, get some coaching and learn from those guys and just fix any mistakes we see. And I think we'll be able to take this team pretty far, maybe even win the championship for C3.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's the way that you guys have been looking. It's definitely on the up and up, and taking the number one team to 5, and then beating them over the summer. You guys have definitely shown that you can hang in these lobbies. That kind of puts me to my next question. Where do you guys see yourself kind of finishing out in terms of the season going into LAN, and kind of what the vibes will be if you were to put yourself, 5 more weeks into the future and you have LAN on the horizon? Where do you guys think your kind of floor is for when it comes down to LAN?
To be honest, I see us taking it all. I think against UNCC, we just had a rough match. We had our third T-Neck playing not at his own setup. So it was just a rough day for him, and we were all kind of feeling awkward. So I think once we get everything sorted out, get coaching, getting comfortable, I think on LAN we'll be able to take the number 1 spot.
I'll tell you what, you guys certainly looked the part here tonight. You look fantastic in this match, and even as you had said, the circumstances surrounding the Week 1 loss against UNCC were, unfortunate as a best way of putting it. Now that you guys are fully locked in, you had already mentioned you plan, you want to win the whole thing. Do you guys also have goals outside of C3 that you would like to that you have set for yourselves as well?
We would love to see like a good placement in 0. Not looking for anything crazy, but maybe like I don't know, like top 30. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. And also just doing good at NECC and, you know, any other tournaments we might pick up there and then. Um, but I'm just really looking to take some dubs. That's it. I just like winning. So
I mean, UNCC was they had a top 16 finish in CRL last season, and you guys were able to beat them over the summer. You took them to 5 here in less than ideal circumstances. You guys certainly have the potential. That much can be agreed upon by everybody here. Last thing, do you have any shout outs before we wrap up the interview?
shout out Phantom for coming on. Shout out T-Neck. T-Neck, we give him little jokes, but he still sticks with us. And shout out T Carell for giving us some good coaching. But yeah, those are people that are really helping right now. So
Awesome, Nakar. Well, thank you very much for the interview, my man. Again, congratulations on the W. Go ahead and celebrate with your team. Have yourself a great night, dude.
thank you guys. You do too.
Awesome. Once again, guys, that was Nakari with Winthrop coming off of a Game 5 victory, stopping the reverse sweep effort being brought on by USC. Winthrop get their first W on the season in dramatic fashion. I've been McMaster. That has been Somber. We're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, there is still more oh my goodness, still some C3 esports action on the way. We'll see you soon.
Quit.
Welcome back, everybody, to the C3 Esports League. We are here with the next matchup for tonight. We have High Point University going against Coastal Carolina University. Both new teams to the C3 Esports League, so I'm excited to see how they play out. I'm joined with Bearlight here for his showcase debut on the C3 Esports League stream. How are you feeling tonight, man?
Excited to finally be here with you, Nate. We've been talking about this for months and months and months, and it's turned into years. And excited to be able to represent the Carolinas in style here with C3. So thank you for the invite. Excited to see these two teams, as well as the other teams that I've seen here tonight. It's an exciting week this time.
I know we're definitely ready to get the Bear Dog cast going. I know it's gonna be a little interesting one. My stutter's gonna be really bad. Haven't done this in a year or so, so it should be interesting. So don't outshine me too bad here. I can't get clowned on anymore in this league. But jumping into the teams here, I mean, there's both new teams in the league. There's not a whole lot known about them. I know Coastal Carolina played in their open division, but this is our first time seeing them in Premier. Who do you think is gonna really come out on top of this game?
A tough one, right? Because we don't have a whole lot of the information here. But the reason I'm excited for these two teams in particular is because they may be new to C3, but they've certainly been helping the esports scene for quite a while here, Nate. You know, if we talk about Boost on the Beach, which I was thankful to be a part of a couple of years ago, starting there, I know Coastal Carolina had a big part of that. So I got to meet the guys down there, super awesome individuals. And then we talk about High Point University. This is an area that's growing like crazy in esports as well. I know me and the Stay Plugged In guys were able to work with High Point University and the surrounding areas, the high schools that are around that area. So they're really growing their programs, growing a pipeline as well for players that they can have on their programs. So honestly, it's really tough to say. Both of them have some good roots. I don't have a favorite or skin in the game, so I'm just going to leave it at that, man.
Well, I definitely have a favorite I'm going to pick. I'm going to say High Point here purely because I know Mattel personally and I'm good friends with him and I will always root against his team. Just so you know, Mattel, week 7, UNCW coming for you, so we will catch you then. But overall, it should be a great game, and I'm looking forward to seeing these teams as they start loading into the lobby and get things rolling. I think, honestly, I'm going to go with High Point. I want to see High Point secure. I want to see High Point take the win here.
Because you always go against them, but for me, I always go against you. So Coastal Carolina, give me them. Let's go. Coastal is gonna win this one 3-2 because it's been all best of 5s here, Nate. I expect nothing different here as the series begins, man.
I know this is definitely both these teams' debut on the stream as the kickoff goes out strong into Coastal Carolina's half as Calamity, looking at the challenge on the back wall, fires out mid, Landon pops it right to Calamity for a wide open shot, and almost send right back into his own half. Coastal Carolina trying to get things rolling, and it looks like High Point is starting to come out strong with a lot of the pressure. Calamity looking for the shot, a shot quick, and a huge save from Baby Yoda. That's my GOAT. Where's the Mandalorian? Thanks for starting off strong.
No, honestly, though, like, Yoda's been great for this team extremely early because otherwise, they would have had some trouble with High Point, but Coastal Carolina's been bailed out a couple of times. And now Yoda from the defensive side wants to transition it to the offense. It's a leave off here for RPM, but gonna be left here in the middle with no real traction gains here at the moment. So falls right back into the hand of High Point, but Coastals had some opportunities. That one's still gonna die in their zone, and now a transition back out, but the pass just a little bit too hot to handle.
I know right now it's looking like High Point's coming out with a lot of the heat on their side, trying to get things moving, looking for those opportunities in the midfield as one comes out, but a shutdown from Landon. You can see Coastal Carolina trying to get a quick counter. No one on the backside. Trev, not enough boost. A shot opportunity. Baby Yoda taps it in. The force is in his favor, and they bring the first goal of the series going into Coastal Carolina's favor. That was a very interesting play.
Incredible. I mean, yeah, the way you maneuver your card there is not traditional. We'll say that for sure. But there is magic abounds. And right now, going to war with a 1-0 lead here for Coastal Carolina as they look to settle in after Yoda had to bail them out a couple of times. They did not look comfortable in that defensive sequence. And to be honest, that shot didn't look comfortable either, but you take them either way.
I know, looking into a little bit about these teams as I pulled up my spreadsheet here. High Point and Coastal Carolina both average around a GC1 team, so it looks pretty on par for the matchup that we're looking right now, especially compared to that last one with Winthrop and USC. But they're going to be a pretty equal matchup. It's almost a mirror match with their rosters. Everybody, both have around a 1,700 to 1,600. As a shot comes from Trev, and they bring in the equalizer for this match.
It was just Calamity from the backside, and although he didn't get a flip on that flipper, he said attempt, he did enough to keep it in that box. And then you see Trev's not getting complacent, right? Just being out there proactive on the back wall and able to tap that one in for the equalizers. So once you see the other teams start to kind of piece something together. Suddenly it's a wake-up call for the other team. And High Point, they're going goal for goal. No surprise after the games that we've seen here tonight.
I'm definitely hoping for a Game 5 result here. It keeps my stream entertaining, keeps the viewership high. No one likes a blowout. NC State, Chapel Hill, that 10-0 was very brutal. But pop it up into the air here. Alex RL looking for the pass midfield, gets a pinch off of it, shoots it just a little too hard, but Trev maintains control of that, looking for that sidewall, pops it back mid, but no one there to capitalize on this opportunity. It looks like Demise with Coastal looking for an attempt of his own, shut down right into Baby Yoda. Can he do it again? No, Calamity there to pass it to Landon, and it looks like Baby Yoda for the shot, and Landon, beautiful passing play with a save from Alex RL on the goal line. Things are getting crazy here for High Point.
And Coastal continues to just swarm here in the offensive zone in the box and pressuring. But somehow they've had answers for it. That's a great job for them to build themselves out, but for how much longer? Luckily, Alex was up there just enough boosting the tank. He's got 0 right now. Calamity was having trouble keeping up with the boost game for sure. They were controlling it 100%, but they were able to get back into it. No surprise, they get a little bit more pressure working through the offensive zone, but once again, it's been kind of a bloodbath too. A lot more demos. It's getting a lot more physical out here, Nate.
I know. One thing I want to start seeing between these teams is I want to start seeing more connections of the passing play in that midfield. A lot of these teams have been started playing it towards the wall. As you can see, Landon doing it again, looking for the pass midfield, blocked out by Trev. And it's going to come down to who's controlling the midfield the best here. Both these teams are showing they have the talent on the sidewall. They're able to take the control, get the dribbles, create that space, but they're not connecting on those team plays to take those opportunities. I think whoever comes out and starts taking control of those opportunities, getting the touches they want, is going to start pulling away in this game very quickly.
And Calamity's been that kind of presence for them as of late. High Point University, that is. But that one will be chopped at. That one does get past Calamity, but he does pick up a couple of 12 packs on the way back. And able to 50-50 off the hood of Yoda. This is in the hands of Alex. He'll try from the sidewall. Eyeballing Calamity, but unfortunately didn't get a touch there. And Trey followed suit. And Calamity, there's that presence I was talking about. I was trying to find Trevs with that one. He was a little bit close, but unfortunately couldn't reach out far enough. And now Trevs forced backwards on his own back wall. He didn't have boost, so he left it for Alex. A wise choice here as Yoda tries to chop it back down. Trevs, again, a pass could have been there, but well defended by this Coastal Carolina team getting back.
Demise sitting this one back down into High Point's hands as Alex just collected the 100 pad, trying to get a little control, looking to that midfield. Calamity there, let's take it off the corner, shut down by Landon. Coastal Carolina trying to get this one off as the clock starts dwindling down. A missed opportunity from both Coastal and High Point as a wide open net gets laid into their lap and they just let it fall out. A tragic situation as it's looking like we might be going into our first overtime of this series. But Trev trying to get a setup, a demo in the center of the field on both the High Point players, and we're going to go to overtime.
Classic C3 matches here. You love to see it. OT we go. Now it's really about cleaning up their act. I feel like both teams were a little bit sloppy mechanically at first, but now it's been their decision-making that's really where their focal point has become. They worked on fundamentals at first to try to get warm, but now it's really about who can make those right choices. And still that midfield presence, as you pointed out a little bit earlier, Nate, needs to come in handy. High Point's got a chance here. Calamity shot taken. Big save there. Trevs is on the doorstep as well, but that will be defended. And now a passing play out. But the counterattack does not land here for Coastal, thankfully for High Point.
One thing I definitely want to give props to High Point for is their control of the play. As a shot comes out, top left corner, and Trev is going to seal the deal for High Point University, taking game 1 of this series. And I was quite literally about to say, I wanted to give props to High Point for how they are slowing down the play, making Coastal Carolina play at their pace, and taking more accurate touches and shots, trying to put Coastal Carolina in those awkward situations, as Trev demonstrates right there.
Yeah, Trev has always been in support. It almost, it could pay off sometimes. He has to be careful with the position because he's really up close with his teammates. In that case, it definitely worked out. You have the boost. Your teammate does not. They're going out and causing that pressure. Yoda was forced to turn backwards because he was looking out for that bump. And then when you play that back wall, it gets awkward. You have to rely on your teammates to come up, and they were just frankly out of boost, so they couldn't do much about that. So, yeah, forcing the hand is certainly the right way to put that, but it was the specifics on how they got out and forced the best player, arguably for Coastal Carolina, and Yoda out of the way before they made that happen. So despite Coastal Carolina getting that first goal on the board, it was a quick answer from High Point, and then they were able to manage into overtime to get that game one win. So High Point certainly doing exactly what they need to be successful in this series if they can continue to really take away wins that Coastal Carolina could have had themselves.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Coastal Carolina, they're going to have to really figure out what mistakes they are making there and try and adjust mid-game because, I mean, what's going to come down to these type of teams as they slow and develop in these series is their ability to be adaptable. If they're not going to be able to adapt and apply changes that they need to apply in the moment, High Point's going to start just gaining momentum, start pulling away, and things are going to start getting more and more dire for Coastal Carolina. So one thing I think they're going to need to do, I think they need to start incorporating some more bumps and demos on the goal line when they're rotating through and try and connecting those midfield passes to create more pressure and more awkwardness for High Point. If they're not going to do that, High Point's going to be comfortable. They're going to start taking their time again. You got to bring the pressure and the pace to them.
You know, I said it a couple of times, you know, being proactive, you need to be, being able to, you know, instead of just letting the play come to you, you have to be out and get out and create your own chances. And I think they have been able to do a little bit of that. They showcase that slightly, but you're right. You need a little bit more there. It got physical about 2.5 minutes in the game, and that's why we saw a stagnant offensive pressure there, to be honest. So both ways, to be honest. So, well, there's a freebie,
Lord.
if you will. Alex will take that one all day long.
You know, honestly, Coastal Carolina, they happen. You know, Landon jumped up expecting a touch off the ceiling, and it didn't happen. It's a freebie for High Point. It's 5 seconds in. You just need to shake that one off, reset. Still 0-0. Go for it and just trying to come back on that one. And maybe we'll see a quick counter from Coastal Carolina as Landon grabs the 100, looks for the pass mid, gets the 50 off of Calamity, and Trev trying to look for a touch midfield here, but Landon cuts that one out from Alex RL's a shot. Comes from Calamity off the wall, off the crossbar, and Baby Yoda sends this one out to the left side, trying to get some momentum for Coastal Carolina. But it looks like Calamity says is going to say not today.
Yeah,
There's
Coastal
the
Carolina. Coastal Carolina is really trying to, you know, they really need one pretty quickly here. Not only has High Point scored the last 3 goals of the series, but then if you think about it from their perspective, when goals are coming at a premium, there was only 3 in game number 1. You really don't want to give away anything for free. So that mistake, it cannot haunt you. And the best way to get out of your head is by getting that goal. So they're certainly aiming to do that in the next minute or so. But Yoda's going to need some help here. And unfortunately for him, Demise was all the way back in his own zone. So you need to play a little bit closer. Rotations need to be a little bit tighter here for Coastal Carolina if they're able to find that goal.
Absolutely, as Landon gets a 50 off of Trev. Baby Yoda trying to get a touch, but no boost to his name. Leaves this one for Trev to bang it down the field as a commit from Demise. Puts Coastal Carolina on the defensive side. Landon looking to get a touch off the sidewall off of Calamity. Trying to follow it up. A double commit from Coastal Carolina. Could leave the gap here for High Point to take control. But Demise staying calm, cool, and collected on the goal line. Get the 50 out the midfield to Baby Yoda. Can Baby Yoda gets the flick over one? Can he get it over the second one? And a 50 comes out from Trev. A great save as High Point stays alive on the goal line. And Coastal Carolina is scrambling for those back corner boosts.
Yeah, they certainly are. Luckily for a High Point, they were able to, you know, one at a time. Their comms were clearly on point, but that's unfortunate there for Alex. Luckily, Trev has been there in support no matter what. So you can make a mistake and look back and say, knew Trev was going to be there anyways. No big deal. That one's free. Landon eventually got to it. Kind of some scary looks from Coastal Carolina after forcing the hand of High Point. High Point seems so strong defensively, and Coastal Carolina hasn't been able to find a solution, at least not yet.
I would have to agree. High Point's been looking very strong on that defensive half, and once again, I think it's going to come down to as a misflip from Trev. Leaves a wide open play, but a demo on Landon. Once again, the demos being the saving grace for a High Point. Something that Coastal Carolina does need to start adapting into this playstyle right now as a shot opportunity comes out and Calamity says no. I think Coastal Carolina, they have the right ideas. They're getting okay touches and trying to connect with each other. And that's a good demo attempt from Demise right there. But their demos and their bumps aren't proving to have any usefulness on the play. They're getting them, they're getting the connections, but it's not really creating any opportunities for their teammate. Whereas Demise looking for the shot and Trev for the save.
Yeah, good point. You know, you want to be able to make sure that it's efficient at the end of the day. You don't want to go out of your way to try to cause chaos, right? Because then you're really just not doing your team any favors, and that's where we see those cases of these players getting just slightly out of position, getting beat to balls. Well, just like that one, but that one was a little bit closer than we saw before. So you can see Coastal Carolina making those adjustments now, as Landon will be on this one. Upside Down still wasn't able to handle it, and Calamity wasn't able to handle it either. So teams really just trying to find that possession, right? You said the Queener play is really going to come away with this one. You certainly weren't wrong here. But Calamity will try to bounce it back to the offensive side. Trevs was backwards, so his touch can only do so much. Does get an extra one, though. That'll allow Alex to try to step up in his plays. They look for the bump, but just a little bit shy. And that one rolling back, but won't find the momentum nor the angle to find its way to the back of the net.
Coastal Carolina is definitely starting to try and make some of those adjustments, but right now High Point, I think that it's just the pace of play they're playing at. It's just getting just out of touch of those bumps and demos as Landon goes for the shot off the right side. Baby Yoda not able to get there in time. And a shot attempt from Demise, bottom left corner, and Coastal Carolina hits the equalizer, bringing it back to a tied game, 54 seconds left. You know, honestly, I would have loved to give the credit to Coastal Carolina, but it really just kind of looked like a missed touch from Alex RL, and Demise happened to be there to take control of that situation.
And you know what, Nate? That's what happens whenever communication is a little bit less than it should be, in my opinion, because Alex truly just went with a no-look pass, if you will, just expecting your teammate to be able to cross. But teammates have to ensure them that they're not there, for example, be able to step up in time. And so when you do throw an errant pass out like that, you know, most teams will capitalize on it. And for Coastal Carolina, just when they needed it most, back and forth passing. Oh, that one was almost nice, but Yoda shot it just a little bit wide.
Where did that one come from? That came out of literally nowhere. We haven't seen Coastal Carolina do anything of that type of coordination all night so far. And it looks like they're starting to definitely get warmed up to the idea of it as Demise takes control of this one in the corner with the backflip, faking out Trevs on the touch in the 50. Landon take control with the flick. Blocked out by Calamity off the ceiling. 7 seconds left. A shot attempt comes out from Baby Yoda. Saved on the goal line as Trev tries to take control here. Demise gets a pop mid, but anyone there? No. High Point's going to let this one drop down for overtime.
Oh, man, just a couple more seconds. That one wouldn't have fallen, Nate. But unfortunately for them, we play into overtime, and you open the door just slightly here. But High Point has a prime opportunity, really, just one goal away if you think about it from match points. So a huge goal came a little bit earlier from Coastal Carolina, but they ultimately need another one. So they'll try to lead the way with Landon. But he only got as far as midfield here as Trevs punches it back off the back wall, and Alex was up for it. Couldn't quite find the right angle. A couple of touches aren't there. That's a shot taken. Nobody back. Freebie, no! And
Baby Yoda, there again.
Well, yep, able to just put it on targets and let the defense do the rest because they didn't have an angle, to be honest.
That's honestly, that might be a big demoralizer for Alex RL there. He went up to get the touch and ended up own goaling, sealing the deal for their loss in game 2. But, I mean, this is a pretty good matchup here. Tied 1-1, both overtime games. I mean, what can you can't ask for a better situation right now.
You really can't. And if you're Coastal Carolina, that's huge for you. Number one, you saw that big goal to equalize. I said that they needed a goal within like the next minute after the goal that High Point had earlier in the series to really feel good about it. But, you know, they fought those demons anyways when they weren't able to get one, you know, later into this game when it looked like it might have been getting away from them. When they got that equalizer, that's when we started to see those plays click, right? Then all of a sudden there's a quick pass down the field that was like literally a tic-tac-toe that was just saved away. But, you know, they stuck with it a little bit. You create your own luck sometimes, and sometimes that just means have Yoda use the force, throw it down the field, and let the defense touch it in for you. So Alex might have been thinking about that mistake from earlier, you know, at the end of the day, and really now that the game's over, you can brush it off your shoulders. Luckily for him, there's not been a lot of good news in the past 3 minutes of gameplay, but the good news is you get a fresh slate here going into game number 3.
No, definitely. I want to commend Landon from Coastal Carolina. He came out having 4 saves, saving his team on the defensive half. I mean, it's really helpful to have a teammate who's a very solid defender. He's been there for all the saves. He's there. He's been kind of the orchestrator of that offensive transition, and it's proven to be very beneficial for Coastal Carolina. But going into game 3 here, I'm curious to see if High Point can turn this one around or if Coastal Carolina is going to try and take the momentum with them as Baby Yoda looks for a touch upfield. Trev takes control, looking for a touch mid for the pass. Faked out Landon. A shot attempt from Baby Yoda, top right corner, but Calamity there. And Coastal Carolina with the flip on the sidewall sidewall, and High Point is taking control of this one.
It feels like High Point kind of feeds off of the energy that Calamity brings out there for sure. And it's not saying that other players can't contribute, because they already have. We've seen Trev step in support all the time, but it really feels like Calamity plays at that speed that every member of High Point wants to play at. And so if they can kind of match that speed, that's going to be a little bit faster than I think Coastal Carolina has proven that they can handle. So as long as they play at that upper speed, don't play down to the speed of Coastal Carolina, I think they'll be just fine in this series. But it all takes that strong mentality to bounce off what happened last game. So we'll see who's able to kind of step up and be that later if it is Calamity.
Absolutely, as a shot goes off the backboard from Baby Yoda as Demise trying to get this one center. A shot attempt from Baby Yoda, 50 out for Demise, but zero boost. Forced to try and take this one slow, gets to 50 off of Calamity, and a clear comes out in High Point on the counterattack, but no juice on that shot, and Baby Yoda forced to make an awkward touch to his corner here, and Coastal Carolina on their back legs right now, trying to get control of this play here, and High Point is starting to turn up the Jets, trying to get Coastal Carolina locked in on their half, but Coastal Carolina says not today. And a bump on the back line, an opportunity, but Landon gets out of the way. You can see High Point starting to try and get a little bit more physical, but it's backfiring. It's a miss from Baby Yoda. A wide open net, an absolute tragedy for Coastal Carolina.
That's the hardest shot to hit, Nate. I don't know if you know this, but definitely open nets can be a little bit tougher. The pressure's on you, all eyeballs on you. And speaking of which, Alex, the bounce back. Oh, exactly what he needed for him to be confident. Look at him go up and get this one, Nate.
What a beautiful touch there. Bar down. There's no real way of saving that. You covered probably 90%, if not a little bit more of the net. And that was just a great placement from Alex RL as he finally gets the lead for High Point in this match. And Trev's trying to take this one up the wall. Beats it out Landon, but Baby Yoda looking for Landon. Get a block out by Alex. I think it's going to come down to who can really control those touches. Right now, we're seeing a lot of one-touch plays, a lot of ball goes here. I'm going to follow it. But one thing we like to always teach here at UNCW is we always try and have them think they need to have a two-touch mentality. Whenever you're going after the ball, what are you going to do with it next? And a bang down the field off the left side post. And right now, things are getting interesting.
Yoda, it's that close again. Was able to touch it. Calamity with the wide open net because of it. Couple of mistakes here from Coastal Carolina will make them pay. High Point University will take those first two goals, and it's Calamity to get it done.
I mean, that's definitely a disappointing situation for Coastal Carolina as they had all the momentum right there and just one quick clear down the field, and now you're down 2-0 with only half the time remaining. I mean, all you can really do here is think one goal at a time. As Baby Yoda tries to get a touch off the backboard, a shot from Demise, 50'd out from High Point. Demise not able to get a touch mid. Landon looks for one, a 50 off the sidewall, but Baby Yoda keeps this one alive. Coastal Carolina desperately trying to return this one around as a shot attempt from Landon. Gets a touch, a beautiful dribble for the doozy off the backboard. Looked like Baby Yoda gave him a hand with a little bit of the pull shot in the behind there to shove him into the net.
Yeah, exactly. Was directly on target, though, so credit Landon for setting that one up and knowing exactly where to go with it. And really, it was a recognition that, yeah, there was a player on the back wall, but that was it. There was no challenge from the opposite side back post, which I would have liked to see there from High Point. So you allow Coastal Carolina to shake off what was a very shaky, first half of this game to get some momentum for themselves. We saw Coastal Carolina do exactly that to get it back into the game in game number 2. And now Trevs is trying to find Calamity, though. They want to get right back to it, but Demise had other ideas.
I think the big kryptonite for Coastal Carolina right now is those bangs down the field. High Point has been taking advantage of them this game, so Coastal Carolina needs to clean up that third man outside rotation and come up through the midfield here and close that gap. Otherwise, High Point's going to continue to exploit it, because the last thing you want to do is obviously give a clear line of sight to the goal. You need to have a guy there to get a touch, get the save, control the play. As a 50 comes down as an overcommit from Coastal Carolina, and a lucky save from Landon with zero boost on the sidewall. As High Point turns this one around, but Baby Yoda with a beautiful touch off the backboard. Demise looking for a touch off the corner, looks for a shot, 50 off of Calamity. A shot attempt from Landon, misses out, but Baby Yoda there to follow up, looks for the double, but no boost, and Calamity there to get this one out, and High Point skirts away in a dangerous situation.
Yeah, Coastal is still turning on these at the exact right time. Finding timing can be everything here. Calamity was able to punch it away from Coastal Carolina. They've got 38 seconds left to try to find one more. But Yoda was faked. Heard a little bit of the sound cues coming at him. Heard wheels turning. That shot's going to be there. Sneaky one. Will find its way through. Okay, High Point now up 3-1 as they just couldn't quite find it back if you're Coastal.
I mean, this situation is exactly what I was talking about. I mean, it looked like there was a little bit of a miscommunication. Demise was slow on that third-man rotation to back post, but it looks like Baby Yoda called him off, thinking he would get a touch. But honestly, it's just great ball placement from High Point. Found the gap in the rotation. Perfectly placed shot. Is Baby Yoda in an awkward position, but a demo. Alex trying to get the double. No one there to defend, but a beautiful touch from Landon from underneath. Gets this one out of the play, and Baby Yoda gets the clear out to give his team some time. Demise gets the touch to the sidewall. Down 2. It's looking like High Point is going to walk away with Game 3.
Exactly what High Point needed after surrendering what felt like a giveaway in the last game. So High Point, yes, in prime position here. They'll take it to the driver's seat. And again, Nate, it's been tough to find goals in this one. You've had to create some pretty great goal opportunities through some passing plays, but this time it was a lot about solo plays too. We saw it from Landon. They're from Coastal Carolina to keep it close, but 2-goal effort there from Calamity. I said, who needs to step up and be the leader? And of course, Calamity took my words and said, hey, listen, I'll be the one to do it for sure, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Not a lot of saves having to be required though. But that honestly means that their defenses are kind of doing the right things at midfield, right? Not allowing those shots to even develop in the first place. So that spacing defensively from both of these teams, it's really who can do that a little bit stronger. And High Point was able to punch through and find some sore misses there from Coastal Carolina that they wish they had back. And if they keep doing that, I'm sure they'll close out this series because Coastal Carolina, they've only scored about 4 or 5 goals in this series. I'm not sure the exact number there, but unfortunately the goals have not exactly been there for them.
No, not at all. And I know one thing, I mean, it's Rocket League theory at its finest, all right? The way you win a game is you got to control the midfield, and right now High Point is dominating that midfield. Coastal Carolina is going to need to find a way to open up that midfield, get control. Otherwise, High Point's just going to walk away here in Game 4. Because controlling the midfield opens up all the opportunities for your team. If you're not able to control that, you're not going to be able to create those opportunities. There's no point in going for a demo down on the goal line if you guys don't have the ball in the midfield. Without those infield passes, you're not going to be able to put pressure, and High Point's just going to be playing in the comfortable way. As a missed touch from Demise, as it might go straight into their net. No, a lucky bounce off that side corner as it bounces just over the goalpost. A dangerous situation from Coastal Carolina as they almost had another 5-second goal.
Yeah, they did, but Coastal Carolina is kind of holding on. And honestly, I like what I've seen out of Landon. Landon's been a big difference maker, not only in the offensive side. Obviously, we saw the Doomsday a little bit earlier, but also it's when Baby Yoda made those couple of mistakes earlier in the game, was able to kind of turn that around. And, you saw Baby Yoda start to play a little bit better, and maybe the inspiration came from what Landon was able to put together. So here's an opportunity as well. That one's wide open, and Landon will tap that one in. A bit of a stolen goal, but really you just don't want that one to go to waste, especially when you can't score goals throughout the series. So 1-0 Coastal.
Actually, Coastal just pulled out the Uno reverse card on High Point. They wanted to get 1-0 of their own early on into the match, and now it's going to be on High Point under pressure to come back. I think, I think High Point's got it, unbiased here on the C3. Love Mattel and Coastal Carolina, but, I think High Point has the confidence. They've been playing great. They're up in the series. I don't think they have any reason to be stressed out as Alex looks for a pass midfield or downfield, but Trev gets bumped out, but able to follow up on it anyway as a touch out from Baby Yoda, fires it downfield, but just off target. But there to put it into 1-2 combo, and Coastal Carolina goes up 2-0.
Those are the two that also almost pinched it all the way down the field. So that coordination was already great, but then that pass, that had so much pace on it. That's what I love to see from this team. Coastal Carolina needs a lot more of that. We've seen little flashes of that, Nate, but you gotta be full-fledged here, and Coastal Carolina is starting to cook.
I mean, could we see it? Could we see a Game 5 today for the second time? I'm getting flashbacks just to Week 1 where we had 2 Game 5s back-to-back. I mean, if Coastal Carolina's cooking, that's great, but High Point might be cooking even more. What did I just watch right there?
Oh my goodness. You're watching Calamity, and then Trev's, that was insane. That was absolutely insane.
Just that might be clip of the game right there. Clip of the series.
Calculated. Trev's is like upside down and awkward and still used to flip. And that's what, propelled that just enough to catch him on the way down. So Calamity with the give and go, some would call it in the industry.
I mean, whatever it was beautiful. I don't think we'll ever see it again, but it was beautiful. But Calamity trying to prove me wrong, gets one more touch, but Demise gets the save up to the sidewall. Baby Yoda looking for Landon in the middle. Landon up for the shot, not able to get there in time as that pass is just a little bit outside of his reach. And you can see Coastal Carolina starting to try and take control of that midfield. They're heeding the advice. Who knows? They might be watching the stream.
Anything Nate says, everybody's like, yeah, let's do it. They want to get better at the end of the day, so I don't blame them.
Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. I'm washed.
Listen, I'm trying to give you props here.
Lord.
It's Trevs. Wants to find somebody far side, but Calamity was unfortunately behind him and coming across, so that did not work out. Extra touch from Alex, though. Didn't throw off Baby Yoda, though, but Baby Yoda was ready, and Demise will play it out across center field where Landon will chase after it. He kind of punches it to the corner here, too, and now off that back curve, Baby Yoda sets up Demise. He's there in the slot, trying to tap it back down to Landon because he couldn't quite find the right angle. And now there might be a counterattack the other way, but Baby Yoda is ready for it. Back in this midfield strategy, this tug of war that we've seen between these two teams, it continues.
Baby Yoda with an excellent read on the defensive half, but it falls right into High Point's hand with a demo coming out from Landon, giving the possession back to Baby Yoda, who just grabbed the full boost, but Calamity gets the control out to the side. Demise trying to get a little bit of a stall touch there, pops it up from Landon, who's up for it. Trev gets a touch, but Baby Yoda cuts in time, but no one there to capitalize as Landon. Trying to get one up the field off the side, but looks for the read. Goes for the second touch, touchdown. A forced shot coming in from Demise, and Demise brings it to a 2-goal lead for Coastal Carolina. Things are looking great for them right now, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, Demise, that's his first of the series, so you love to see him get on the board and start to really turn it around, from an offensive standpoint. Everybody contributing here for Coastal Carolina. It's inching our way to, well, game number 5. And Nate, if you remember correctly, I might have called it game 5. And I called it in favor of Coastal Carolina. They're really trying to press and make a case for themselves as far as having the momentum rolling into it as well, if they can hold on for a minute 20.
I think I know what happened here. Is a beautiful shot and save comes out from Alex and Baby Yoda. I think Matawa heard me talking trash, voting against one of my best friends, and he definitely went out there and was like, all right, boys, we got to prove Nate wrong, and because they are playing like a different team right now with the coordination I am seeing. As a pass goes to Landon with 100 boost, 50 out from Calamity, and a shot attempt from High Point. The triple commit from Coastal Carolina. A dangerous situation as a backboard touch comes in, but Demise coming in as a defensive masterclass of this game. Gets a touch, and Landon there to control it mid, looking for the shot in midfield off the back wall, but Trev says not today as Coastal Carolina is controlling the pitch, and another shot comes in out to the left side.
Yeah, Landon almost snuck that one in too. And this was after High Point had a great opportunity, wide open opportunity, it felt like. And look at them trip over each other. Not what you want to see. That was a prime opportunity. They were in prime real estate there in the box, but Calamity's sticking with it. And the extra touch there at the end, I thought might have had some traction, but even that one will stay out as Landon does get back to it and punches it out past midfield. And with 10 seconds left, Coastal Carolina with plenty of room to be able to close out this game. Not a lot of time left here. In fact, time ticks down 0 seconds, so we go to a game 5 now, Nate, to determine this one. Coastal Carolina stays alive in this series. Here we go.
What a series here. Going into game 5, back-to-back weeks with back-to-back game 5s. C3 is showing out this season already. I'm excited. I want High Point to turn this around. My big question here is, do people realize they get timeouts? That's what I want to know, because this is a situation I would say call a timeout. You're in a dangerous position. Your mindset might not be there.
Yeah, 100%. You get like a natural, vibe whenever you just reset for a game where you can kind of talk things over. You still get a minute between games to really talk it over, but to really stop that momentum, you really want to freeze and have that extra discussion, because things seem like you're making great solo plays for High Point, but you have to be able to play together. When Coastal Carolina is kind of outshining you, when you've been the better of that aspect for the first couple of games, you have to be able to turn that around and get contribution all over the map. If you look at CCU and their stat lines, I mean, they were all across the board contributing in the shot count. Goals, if not, you're assisting it. Like from Baby Yoda, he had a couple. You have to be able to play together as that cohesive unit, and when it's just not there, you have to have that discussion for sure. And that's why you have to watch the C3 stream as well if you're part of this league, because then you get those little sneak peeks of what you can do, including timeouts to really get yourself together here, Nate. As we go into game number 5, let's get it, baby.
I'm excited for this one as things start get. Oh my lord, I lost it. There was gonna happen eventually. Calamity tries to get the touch out here. Trev takes control off the backboard as a shot comes from Demise off the side wall as Calamity gets to clear down the field. High Point trying to get this one out of their half as Coastal Carolina comes out quickly with the counterattack as a missed touch from Alex RL and Trev there to pop it up. Demise for the shot, but Trev says not today. There for the clear again. High Point needs to get this one off their side here. The more and more you let Coastal Carolina drain your boost, get the opportune positions, they're going to take advantage of it. You got to get it out as a clear comes from Trev, and Baby Yoda sends it right back.
Yeah, High Point's saving grace is that they're actually finding each other with passes. You know, they haven't had a lot of boost, to your point. And so the only way to really combat that is by being able to make punctual passes with pace, be able to get it around the C3 attackers, but Demise is ready for it here in the corner. Try to dribble it out, but it's punched right back in. Chance, Baby Yoda. Just Calamity back. Demise had to be kind of ready for that one. I'd like to see him jump out and look for that bump because that would have freed up everything. Would have been a wide open net there for Calamity. But instead, it still remains here deadlocked at 0. Alex now pushes one past the last defender, but Landon's ready for it. Has 100 boost in the tank. All the way to the ceiling. Has a flip in hand, too. Takes the shot, but Alex was ready for it.
They're trying to get control, shut down by Demise here is Calamity. No boost in the tank, not able to take it up as Landon pops it mid. Trev there for the touchdown to Alex, who fakes out Baby Yoda here, but beat out by Demise as Coastal Carolina keeps the pressure alive. I don't think we've seen High Point really get on to Coastal Carolina's half once so far, and we are 2 minutes into the game as Coastal Carolina has been dominating the pitch spread on this one as Baby Yoda looks to clear this one out right back into Coastal Carolina's control. Pinches it back downfield to High Point. And High Point once again back on their heels. High Point needs to find an outlet soon. And a quick counterattack as a challenge comes out on the goal line. Is Calamity there for the top left corner. Blocked out by Landon.
And arguably, this might be putting more pressure on Coastal Carolina because we're just spending that much time on the offensive side of the field. Hear me out. You want to be able to see, you know, some actual production from it. How many times have we seen so much pressure one way and then like a rubber band? It kind of bounces back into your zone for the last half and you've run out of time. You didn't have any goals to show for that offensive presence at the end of the day. And so that's what you're wondering here, especially as High Point starts to finally gather a little bit of pressure. And sure enough, right on cue, there's Alex with 2:18 left to put High Point on top.
I couldn't have said anything. Honestly, that's nothing new for me. I am, if anyone here in the league knows, I am the definition of if I say something's going good, it's going to turn around almost immediately. I am the cash a curse here in C3, and I have said it time and time again as High Point takes the lead. Honestly, that's great for me. Why am I upset? Let's go High Point. Why am I upset? It's Calamity gets to clear out. And Landon trying to maintain that pressure here as Alex clears it down the field. 20 boost to his name, trying to control it. Gets a pop-up, but Demise says not today. A shot trying to sneak underneath from a High Point. Shut down on the goal line as now Trev pops his midfield. Right to Baby Yoda looking for Demise downfield. Trying to get a bump. Doesn't connect. And you can see Coastal Carolina trying to really turn this one around as a bump comes out in a wide open net. And High Point goes up 2-0. What are your thoughts so far? How are you feeling with your pick right now?
You know, I'm going to just deflect this conversation into the fact that I said that it was going to rubber bands towards High Point a little bit earlier in this game. You know, we learn from our mistake.
Okay.
And then we get to choose based on wiser decisions of what you've actually been able to see. Nate, that's all I'm saying.
Okay. Sure. Sounds like you're deflecting the shade. That's what I'm hearing right now. But with Baby Yoda trying to return it, trying to bring some pride back to Bear Light, a flip reset comes out, Demise pops it up, but no one there to capitalize as Trev banks this one back down by a drop down mid, a scoring opportunity, a bad situation, but a huge save from Demise coming in the last second is a wide open opportunity, comes from Coastal, but a quick challenge from Alex shuts down that opportunity. And Baby Yoda looking for the shot off that left side post. Coastal Carolina not able to find one. With a minute left, they need to figure it out.
You still got time. Unfortunately, now you don't. Oh, miscue. Well, credit Coastal Carolina for making this a close series, but unfortunately, it looks like High Point's walking away with this one. Oh, and Demise just trying to find a teammate there, and I get where you're going with that, but that touch, unfortunately, was not the right one. High Point's going to clean that every single time. And Nate, a bit of a victory lap for you, I suppose. 48 seconds left, and High Point should be able to close this one out, barring a miracle. Yeah, that one will be the dagger.
Yeah, 43 seconds left. At what point do you just... It is what it is. You played your heart out. It was a great game.
Yeah.
Save the replays, go back, review, figure out the slight mistakes you made, and capitalize and grow from there. I mean, I wouldn't say, honestly... It's the last game. When you go down 3-0 with a minute left, 5-0.
Whoop.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say at this point. I mean, it is what it is. Move on and learn.
Yeah. No, it's a solid point for Coastal Carolina that you were that close. Even here in Game 5, you were right. All things considered, the pressure that was mounting against High Point that really was caused by Coastal Carolina, that's something they can really be proud of. But the fact that they weren't able to score that goal, that allowed just a slight opening in the positivity of the communication lines of High Point, I feel like. And when you leave that door open, when they don't get discouraged, well, once they get the first one, then things start to flow. We saw momentum shift a couple of times, some back and forth goals.
What is happening?
And now Coastal Carolina doesn't seem to be on the pitch anymore. I think they've just given up at this point.
I don't even know what to say at this point. That's like, 4 kickoff goals in a row? So, I mean, at least keep playing, run the clock out. Let's get the game over and get the conversations going here as a challenge comes out on the left side, 7-0, 30 seconds. I think one thing I want to really mention here is that this is actually an upset. Coastal Carolina was the higher-ranked team in this matchup here, as a shot comes out from Coastal Carolina, giving us the Brazil, more like a consolidation goal at this point. But this is an upset, and this could severely hurt Coastal Carolina's chances going forward into the season, as upsets do penalize teams very heavily this season.
Yeah, it's one that you gonna leave a bad taste in your mouth for sure, especially the way that you're able to battle back in the series and not quite find your way late in this one for sure. The good news for them, it's not going to count as 2 losses, per se, in matches, even though this last game felt that way. But at the end of the day, you got to give credit where credit's due. High Point played a heck of a series as well. It was a close one until it wasn't here in game number 5. So that being said, High Point University over closer to where I am, near the Greensboro and Charlotte area. They're the ones that are going to be on top here as they win this series by the count of 3-2.
It was a great series. It was an amazing game up until I would say confidently, the last minute of Game 5. Then it just fell apart immediately. But overall, I think it was a great series. There was a lot of great plays. There's a lot of great opportunities and a lot to learn from both teams on that one, as they played their hearts out. Obviously, and just leave it all on the pitch at this point. I mean, looking into this next week, Coastal Carolina has a bye week next week, so they got plenty of time to really come out and adjust and figure out what they need to do before they take on NC State in week 4. So, I mean, just take that with a grain of salt, figure out what you did wrong, and try and upset someone higher than you. That's all I'm going to really say about that.
Exactly. You got time to turn it around at the end of the day. You didn't take a timeout, but now you're going to have a 2 weeks worth of timeouts to be able to discuss that one and kind of go back to the drawing board here. I think, there's some positive points that you can take from it. Just, for me, the one thing that stands out was Landon hopping in and making a difference here for Coastal Carolina. So, you got to experience your team in its full nature, basically a roller coaster ride. You saw some really big highs, those passes that were connecting down the field that were seamless. How do we do that consistently? That's the only thing that you need to really figure out. Granted, that's a big one to figure out in everybody's world, but at the end of the day, the fact that it is there and that cohesion can work, Nate, is a good sign for me at least.
I mean, I would have to agree. At this point, like they showed a lot of potential. They showed they had the opportunity and the chances to do that, to be creative with it. I think it's going to come down to making sure that everyone on the team is the same page and able to do that consistently across the board. There were a few opportunities that were missed just through a few mechanical errors. So I guess hit the training packs, hit the free play hours, and really start grinding them out and improving yourself as an individual. That way, you can help your team grow and develop. But going into this next one, I feel like it was just a great series. I think it had a lot of potential. I think they'll continue to have more potential going into it, especially as High Point takes on Elon next week, which is another team in their group. It should be a really great matchup, and I'm excited to see how they develop. But we will be right back with a player interview from High Point University. We have Trev joining us, so we will be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to the C3 Esports League. I'm joined here in our post-game interview with Trev from High Point University. How are you feeling after your win, man?
Pretty amazing. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I woke up this morning. I just felt it in my soul we could get the dub. I'm not too surprised. It was a great game by us. Calamity carried as usual. My boy Alex, he was cooking too. We saw. I did have those 2 goals game 1. I did my part too.
Yeah, Trevor, you are there in support pretty regularly, but it goes without saying that it's all about teammates, right? And then Calamity
Oh, yeah.
certainly led the way as far as pacing goes. Alex was the support unit that you needed as well. So, what does it mean to be surrounded by teammates that can carry you like that to some degree?
I mean, I don't know about carry. I'd say my aura alone kind of,
Your words, right?
just gives it my worth. But I mean, it is really nice, especially to have somebody as mechanical as Calamity. And Alex does the little sweet stuff for us, and especially when I whiff, they're always there, clean up for me. Just
Well,
about
Coach,
every minute.
yeah, no doubt. Coastal Carolina went game for game with you, which was a really strong series, right? Really fun to watch. But when they took game number 4, forced game number 5,
Oh
were
yeah,
you
no.
were you scared by any means? What was going
Uh,
through? What was your thought process going into game 5?
Actually, I do wish that we had our voice chat on the stream because before Game 4 even started, I said I would be okay with the Game 5 because back home, I am a state champion for Kentucky high school esports. You know, I got I got some little I'm a little bit of a demon in Game 5. I knew I'm on stream. I said, all right, we'll be all right. I mean, as you can see, we got the Brazil.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nate, last question to you.
Um, Honestly, how are you feeling going into next week? I know you play against Elon next week, and how are you feeling going into that matchup after this win? Is there any adjustments you think your team needs going into that one and going into the rest of your season?
Yeah, so what's Elon's ranks? Have we played them yet?
We have not played them yet. I believe Elon. They sit around. They have a GC, a champ, and then a diamond.
Oh shit. I mean, I think we'll be okay. I got to get better all around everywhere. But we'll play our game. We'll try our best. Outcome's the outcome. Probably gonna be a dub considering I'm gonna be on our team, but whatever happens, happens. If
Here,
anything, it's gonna be a good game.
I'm glad to hear that the confidence and possibly a level of ego is there for this one.
Oh no, that's not
Um,
ego. They confuse
is
my
there
confidence for cockiness. Polo G.
are there any shout outs that you want to give before we close the stream off?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out my best friend Ben, my boys Jason, Sean, and I'd like to shout out Polo G, top tier rapper. I listened to him before on the drive to the esport arena. He got me pumped up. I was feeling good. I was feeling light. Just knew we had the dub in us.
Awesome. Well, Trevor, congratulations on your win against Coastal Carolina. We look forward to seeing you guys as the rest of your season develops. Thank you, everyone, for coming out to the C3 Esports League match night. We will see you all next Tuesday for our
Yes,
next
sir.
matches, and we will see you all then. See ya. This is the Bear Dog Cast. That's what we like to see.
See ya.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go.